That's
ZeroBayArea.com.
Don't miss a new Bull. CBS Monday, 10, 9 Central.
Good morning and welcome to Mosaic. I'm Rabbi Eric Weiss and honored to be your host this morning. Throughout the country, communities are taking a very deep look at issues of work and its economy and ways in which a community can contribute by work and economy to the common good. We are pleased to have in this conversation this morning Lisa Countryman, who works with JVS, to talk about this important issue. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So let's just jump right in and ask you, what is JVS?
At JVS, we believe in the power of work to transform lives. We are a nonprofit, non-sectarian workforce development organization that's grounded in Jewish values, but that serves the whole Bay Area community. Our mission is to open up access to opportunity for those who've been left behind.
So it's a beautiful, big vision statement, and I'm wondering if you can give us just a couple examples about how does that actually find its way to the ground?
Of course. Yes. So we work closely with employers in sectors that are showing very strong growth, and particularly sectors that have a large percentage of what we call middle skill, middle wage jobs. One of the things that's happened since the Great Recession has been kind of a hollowing out of the middle of the labor market. And what that means is that the growth that's been happening has been happening in the highest paid, highest skilled jobs, and unfortunately also in the lowest skilled, lowest paid jobs, with kind of a shrinking pool in the middle. And so we focus on making very deep connections with employers in those sectors that do still offer middle skill, middle wage jobs, and then building out career pathways, training programs in partnership with those employers in those sectors. And I'll just tell you a little bit more about what exactly that looks like.
Please.
That looks like connecting people with skill-building training, that's hard skills, technical skills, and soft skills or communication skills, followed by a paid work experience in partnership with an employer, often that's paid by the employer, and then a direct connection to employment with a goal of getting people into jobs somewhere between $40,000 and $80,000 a year.
Wow. So, communities throughout the country face this issue, and every community has a lot in common with every other community, and at the same time, every community is unique. And so I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about how JVS understands our local Bay Area community and then makes decisions about what sectors it moves into to form partnerships and to actually then contribute to the economic work life of the community at large.
Yes, that's a great question and a really big question. A couple of things that I'd like to draw out about that are, first of all, that the Bay Area economy, in terms of the inequality that I was describing and the hollowing out of the middle, the Bay Area economy is probably the most acute case in the country. And in that sense, it makes the work that we're doing here in partnership with employers a really great testing ground for developing programs that can work, that can solve that problem. And we believe that if it can work here, then it should be able to work pretty much anywhere. I think some other key factors to think about in thinking about the Bay Area economy are looking at sectors that still offer a high percentage of middle skill, middle wage jobs. So some examples of that are healthcare, but also utilities and the public sector. Another piece of why those particular industries are still offering so many middle skill, middle wage jobs is because for the most part, those jobs can't be offshored or inshored. They have to be done by people who are here. Healthcare and the public sector both also have the advantage of being fairly recession-proof. So that means those are good investments for us in terms of developing programming and partnership and building sustainability.
Thank you. So you used an interesting word. So I think most people are familiar with the term offshore, which means a job leaves the country.
That's right.
So what is inshore? Inshore.
Yes. So inshoring is a dynamic that we think about, and in a city like San Francisco, but really the broader Bay Area, and we work across multiple counties across the broader Bay Area, many companies are in response to the increasing cost of living and also the increasing cost, of course, of doing business, moving jobs that can be moved to lower cost areas of the country.
I see.
That's
so a
in
job
short.
might leave the Bay Area for another part of California, another state.
That's exactly right.
Interesting. So we're going to take a quick break, Lisa, and come back in just a moment here on Mosaic.
Understanding the world begins with the right questions.
Do you trust Kim Jong-un?
Is it now our top terrorist threat?
With the right people, right here.
Check this out.
More news.
Doesn't the blame reside with Jewel?
More original reporting every morning.
We're going to begin with breaking news
on CBS This Morning.
What really matters in journalism? The truth, the facts, getting to the heart of the story. And it's our promise to you.
Can you pass the green beans?
Oh, are you guys seeing this? I mean, you can't make a mistake like that so early in the meal. Let's go to the replay.
Look at him. He wants to pass left, but his eyes are all over his phone.
Ooh! Green beans all over the place.
That's just sloppy play.
Guess who would have caught the green beans? Jerry Rice.
They're not playing like a family at all.
Someone calling themselves God started sending me people in need of help.
I just got a friend suggestion.
Changing people's lives is never easy.
Stay out of this.
If she gets caught, she can go to jail.
Let us help you.
We need to figure out a way to get through to her.
New God-friendly CBS Tonight.
Tonight, it's a case so good.
Federal agents!
It's priceless.
Someone stole it. It's worth $40 million.
With that, new NCIS LA tonight.
Good morning and welcome to Mosaic. I'm Rabbi Eric Weiss and honored to be your host. We're in the middle of a wonderful conversation with the folks at JVS about our Bay Area economy and work and contributing to the common good. So we'd like to welcome back Lisa Countryman, who is the Chief Strategic Officer at JVS, and welcome Becca Rosenbaum, who is the Director of Healthcare Programs. Welcome back, Lisa, and welcome, Becca.
Thank you.
Becca, let's just jump in and ask you, what are the healthcare programs at JVS?
Yeah, so we have a really diverse portfolio of healthcare programs at JVS. I think of our programs in two different ways. We serve both people who are already licensed or certified in the field and people that don't really have any healthcare experience but want to get a foot in the door. So we serve really a wide range of occupations. We work with medical assistants, dental assistants, LVNs, RNs, and medical administrative assistants. Those are occupations that we've really seen are in high demand in the Bay Area and also have good entry-level wages. So our refresher programs are really designed for people that already have a certificate, already are licensed, but maybe people have taken a little bit of time off or got a license or certificate and weren't able to find work in that field. We have targeted short-term trainings for those folks to really refresh their clinical skills, kind of get that confidence back up, and also to practice all the soft skills that we know employers really want. Then they go into a work-based learning experience where ideally they're earning a wage, practicing those skills again, and then we support them in finding a job afterward. Our other training programs that are more for folks that aren't certified or trained already, in our dental assistant and medical assistant programs, and our medical administrative assistant training as well. Folks, again, are going through a clinical training program, sometimes in partnership with a local accredited training provider like San Francisco State. We're supplementing that training with soft skills, again, really targeted towards an employer, and then a work-based learning experience again, practicing those skills, getting a lot of coaching and support, wraparound services during that time, and then support with a job search at the end.
So Lisa was talking about JVS's commitment to identifying where a gap is and then filling that gap, and in particular in the healthcare sector within the context of middle wage jobs and middle level types of jobs, as you described, a dental assistant, a CNA, and that sort of a thing. So I know for anybody out there who wants a job, at a certain point where the rubber hits the road is getting the job. And I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about that piece of the puzzle that I know JVS is involved with, to the point at which somebody lands in a place, is commuting to a job, is getting a paycheck, and how does that structure actually work at JVS?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We really integrate that training and support throughout our programs. So it really starts before a program even starts, actually. We really talk with employers about what does somebody need to get into a job, both the actual hard skills, do they need to be able to draw blood? Do they need to be able to room a patient? All the way down to, what should they say in an interview? What kind of attitude should they come in with? What do they need to be able to say to really land that job? So we integrate that training all throughout our programs so that people are receiving it right alongside the harder skills. And then we also bring employers in to the process at every step of the way. So many of our programs are targeted at a specific employer, and that employer is actually helping us select participants for the program. They inform our selection process. They let us know the kinds of folks that they're looking for, what kind of skills that they're looking for. And so we know once we bring people into a training program, they're already really well set up because the employer has kind of bought in already to this group of people. Throughout the training, we're providing things like networking training, sitting down and actually writing a resume, how to apply online. And then once the program ends, many of our participants actually already have offers from an employer because they've really shown what they can do on the job. A hiring manager can see that they're trained in this specific setting, and they've already really shown what they can do on the job. For those that are still looking for work, they have access to a kind of one-on-one job search support from one of our staff, group workshops, and a whole slew of services around how to practice those skills and keep themselves current with volunteer opportunities, practicing mock interviews with our volunteers, really everything that they need in order to land that job. And once they land the job, we're, again, touching base with folks to make sure that they can be successful within their first 90 days and their first year of work. They can always give us a call if they're encountering challenges so that we're really supporting them, not just in getting the job, but in keeping the job.
So believe it or not, we have just a 1 minute left in sort of our segment together, but I know that JVS works so intensely across the spectrum of work, and work is so complex, from a person who needs a job to skill set to employer who will hire, and then the success of working. And so I'm wondering if you can talk to us a little bit about, in just a concrete way, who are the employers that JVS works with, and maybe mention a program or two, and then...
Sure, absolutely. So we work with a lot of employers in the Bay Area. Some of our kind of bigger name employers are Kaiser Permanente, Sutter Pacific Medical Foundation, CPMC, UCSF. Those are some of our very long-standing partners in kind of large hospital systems. But we also work with private practices and small community clinics, or the community clinic consortiums in the Bay Area, which are really successful. We want to make sure that our participants have a choice in where to work and choose the environment and the workplace that's right for them. And so we try to have a real variety of employer partnerships.
Wonderful. Believe it or not, we're going to take a quick break, Becca and Lisa, and come back to this wonderful conversation with JVS in just a moment.
Angry protests.
Drop the red lights! Drop the red lights!
Sparked by our year-long investigation.
This kind of practice is totally incompatible with a city that's wrestling with affordability.
Now, the city's largest landlord has listened.
It's not just a few buildings, it's neighborhoods.
The victory for hundreds of rent-controlled tenants.
This was truly tenants being in the street.
Project Home, Monday at 11 on KPIX5 News. Expect more.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
It's not my first time bartending, so...
It's a sausage party in here.
It's fine. I'm very familiar.
Yeah, because you're a sexy girl, Sam. Last thing,
Yeah.
is that the music, when Momo kicks it into high gear, is going to get a little bit loud in here. So your customers are going to have a hard time hearing you. So you may want to...
What?
It's been said that you're playing right into the president's hands.
You ever run into parents who think you're just a blood-sucking vice industry?
What are you thinking in the middle of all that?
At what point does it go from I'm his masseuse to now I've become a victim?
He was thought to be the Democrats' best chance to beat President Trump. But can Joe Biden win the party's nomination?
This is your third run for president. Why Joe Biden?
60 Minutes tonight.
Good morning and welcome back to Mosaic. We're in the middle of a wonderful conversation with JVS, and we'd like to reintroduce you to Lisa Countryman, JVS's Chief Strategic Officer, and introduce you to Geisha Kwan, who is the Medical Group Administrator for Kaiser Permanente San Francisco Medical Center. Welcome back, Lisa, and welcome, Guy.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
So, Guy, let's just jump in, and can you talk a little bit about the partnership that Kaiser Permanente has with JVS?
Absolutely. We've been working together now for probably 2.5 years, and it started kind of out of a need that Lisa identified, kind of the hollowing out of the workforce. And what we found was we would have many medical assistants who would take a job in San Francisco, but after 6 months or a year, they would transfer to a location that was closer to their home. And so that caused churn, and as you know, churn results in people not being as effective at their jobs. It also is expensive because you're constantly training people. And I met Abby Snay, who's the Chief Executive Officer for JVS, at a function, and we started talking, and she told me about the Refresher program. And in particular, what I liked about it was we were able to help develop the curriculum. They worked with us, and we could put pieces of it that are particular to Kaiser Permanente in the curriculum, which we really appreciated. And also they were going to recruit around the San Francisco and in the city of San Francisco in particular. And the experiment was that if we could get people who lived nearby, would we be able to reduce that churn and really help develop the community in so many ways by providing jobs. And when we provide jobs, there's also health care and other things that we can do by investing in the community. So it really was a win-win-win, and we've been very happy. We've had, I think we're on our 4th cohort of medical assistants, and it's working really well, and they're very well trained. They not only know the clinical skills, they know the soft skills of customer service, and we teach them about our computer systems, and it's working very, very well.
Kaiser Permanente, I think a lot of people know, has its origins in worker health, in community health.
Correct.
And I know that value has stuck with Kaiser, certainly in the Bay Area. And so I'm wondering, in terms of how you looked at what you call the churning and what Lisa talked about earlier about inshoring, do you find that if you tend to hire people who are in the community, that the job keeps them anchored to the community? Is that part of the vision of creating stability in the workforce for healthcare sector?
Yeah, absolutely. And so far we've been, it's only been a couple years, but we have been tracking our numbers, and there's definitely lower churn. People are staying. And I also have to say that some of these well-trained medical assistants are some of our best medical assistants. So we're very happy with it.
Lisa, can you talk a little bit about how people come into the system? So if they come into a program that is directly linked to a job that may or may not land at Kaiser or someplace else, how you educate people to their expectations of what they're really being trained to do and really what the job expectation might be?
Of course. So we do very targeted outreach for all of our Career Pathways programs. And for a program like our partnership with Kaiser, of course, it helps immensely in our outreach that Kaiser is such an attractive employer. People really want to work with Kaiser. Kaiser has a reputation of being a great place to work, a great employer, really stable. And so I think that draws a lot of people. We get sometimes 200, 300 applications to be in a cohort, a training cohort of 20. So there's a lot of interest. And people understand, and we set expectations from the beginning, that what they're stepping into is a very robust training program that includes classroom training, a paid work experience, but it is not a guarantee of employment at Kaiser. And so they understand that they have the opportunity to kind of prove themselves in that moment. And if they don't get an opportunity at Kaiser, immediately after their externship. They could, of course, continue to apply, but we would also work with them to look at other opportunities as well with our other fantastic employer partners.
And so if somebody is interested in the healthcare sector programs, how do they actually make themselves available to JVS?
So they could go to our website and get connected to the healthcare programs through there. They could submit an intake form.
And Guy, for Kaiser itself, what are some of the positions that Kaiser is actually looking for?
Right now, we're particularly focused on medical assistants. We are increasing the number of medical assistants that we've been hiring over the last couple of years, and find that it really helps the physician in providing great care. And so that's the one that we're working with JVS on. Certainly, we have other positions as LVNs, RNs, and other areas as well, administration.
Thank you so much. So, Guy and Lisa, believe it or not, we're going to take another quick break and come back to Mosaic in just a moment.
No matter where you go in the Bay Area, the harsh reality of supply versus demand for affordable housing, vanishing safety nets,
I don't have a place to go.
the new face of homelessness.
Could be the next cubicle. It could be someone teaching your child.
Families priced out.
We're not able to save anything. Everything goes to rent.
And tenants fighting for rights.
Do you think they want you out of here?
Oh, absolutely.
It's why we're uncovering the obstacles
Our owners want these units filled.
and finding bold solutions.
No more families are going to have to move for no reason.
We've constructed nearly 7,000 new high-density units.
It's our ongoing commitment to Project Home.